What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about SwiftCoin today. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. To be honest, I actually meant to make this video yesterday, but I just totally spaced it. I didn't have time, honestly. I've got excuses, is what I've got. But let's get into this. This is what we got. You know what's nice about SwiftCoin? It's the same thing that's not nice about it. It's been boring, right? While everything is down in the dumps today, and everyone's running around with like chickens with their heads cut off, SwiftCoin's just chilling. Down 3.7%. That's not fun. It's never fun to see a red day, but it's not bad compared to what some coins are doing. I mean, hell, look at this list here. Let's see. What do we got going on? I mean, Bitcoin's down 3%. You're just down barely a little bit more. There's coins that are having a hell of a lot worse of a time here, with dramatically higher market caps too, even. So I mean, you're doing all right. I do believe this is probably an exact, I want to say example, but there's a better word for it. I just can't think. This is a very good example of what I've been saying, which is that I think that anybody and everybody, it's the same thing that I say about Onyx Coin. Anybody and everybody who wants to sell, they've already sold. They've had all the time to sell. Nobody wants to sell here, right? Maybe the people who are panicking because the rest of the market's dumping, okay, a little bit here and there. But nobody wants to sell, right? If there was any more of an incentive to sell now, it'd be when everybody's freaking the hell out because Ethereum saw new all-time highs and then dumped. Bitcoin's at lower lows. The bull market's over, but no, SwiftCoin's just chilling, standing idly by. We might go a little bit lower, and that's okay if we do. If we were to see lower prices, we could go, even below this low here. Onyx Coin is seeing lower lows, and SwiftCoin's holding up. I mean, that's kind of nice to see. Somebody was asking me if, and I didn't respond. I don't think I responded to this comment, but I was skimming through and deleting scam comments, but I read this one. They were asking me if I thought SwiftCoin was still in the running for this 20-cent race between Onyx Coin and SwiftCoin. And absolutely, I think absolutely it is. 100% it is, yeah. If anything, it's getting closer now with Onyx Coin being at like 1.1 cents, 1.2 cents. There's a very strong chance. I've often said that I wouldn't be surprised if on this next move up from a percentage basis, if SwiftCoin actually outperformed Onyx Coin. I really wouldn't be surprised at all. They're building, they're developing, dude. They're doing their work. They got their head down. They just don't have any attention on them. What I've noticed, and maybe it's just me. I don't know about you guys. It's not like I'm doing my research on this or like really heavily looking for this. I've just noticed this. I feel like bridges and like the necessity for cross-chain capabilities. Say that 3 times fast. Cross-chain capabilities. I feel like people are starting to see the real need for that use case, and SwiftCoin has. I mean, they do it better than anything, man. If you need to swap across chains, they really are cheaper, and they have various means of doing it too. They have a lot more sophistication whenever it comes to this. I think better than anybody else. And once that gets noticed, and maybe it already is getting noticed. I don't know. There's a lot implemented here with this project. I think that I think that we're really going to be blown away by it whenever things take off. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor, but SwiftCoin's one of those. I mean, it's a low cap gem, man. The one thing that I don't like about it, which I've always not liked about it, and we can give it a little bit of a pass because it's been so boring, is the lack of volume. It is really pathetic volume, right? For $100 million in market cap. But in all fairness, you do see consistently millions of dollars traded a day. And there's probably more than that being utilized through its ecosystem to begin with anyway. So, whatever, right? The main purpose of Swift isn't for it to be traded as a crypto. It's to use the ecosystem that they have laid out anyways. But you don't even need SwiftCoin for that. So maybe that's something they should implement, though. All right, maybe it is. I don't know. I don't know all the ins and outs. Maybe it is cheaper. You get some kind of benefit if you use SwiftCoin. I don't know. SwiftCoin devs, you're watching this. You need to implement your coin. That way, the investors get a little bit of return too. Unless you're already doing that, in which case I'm just ignorant and don't mind me. I'm just a chart guy, doing my thing here, right? Making predictions, making correct calls and incorrect calls. I've been right before. I'll be right again. I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again. At some point, we're all going to be right, though. I'm actually considering buying some SwiftCoin here. It depends. It depends on how this. It depends on how this play goes that I've got going on right now. But if I take some profits here within the next week, I might. And SwiftCoin doesn't take off without me. I actually am really considering buying some SwiftCoin. I'm not going to do a whole lot, but I'll probably be in. I don't know. Let's actually see. I'm curious. What is SwiftCoin on? What kind of Is there a way that is it on Solana or Ethereum? Is it its own thing? Is it an ERC20? I would think it's an ERC20, like all of them. But is it its own thing? I think they have their own blockchain, don't they? I'm trying to find out like how you would be able to see. Okay, so it is an Ethereum coin. Okay, cool. So we've got Etherscan. Okay, perfect. Okay, hold on. Etherscan. Ethereum scan dot, is it .org? .io. .io. Balajis. Did it dump down? Or is it just not loaded? Okay, it just didn't load. Okay. I was like, I thought it pumped back up, but it might dump back down, whatever. We want to put this in here real quick. I'm just trying to find out right now, how much would it take to enter the top 200? Like the top 200 holders of SwiftCoin, right? Because being at $100 million, it's actually probably easier than you might think it is. It's not a small feat, right? Like maybe most people can't do that, but it's not like you have to have millions of dollars to get into the top 100 or the top 200. I mean, let's just see here. 185,000 to get in the top 50, 50,000 to get in the top 100. Yeah, right. We're talking about probably tens of thousands, maybe even less than a $10,000 valuation to get into the top two. Let's see. 27K at 150. All right, so I probably won't be in the top 200, but I think the amount that I'm looking to put in is probably just shy of that, anyways. So, but I was just curious to see, right? I like being in the top 200 with various coins. I feel like that's a good like bragging point, but that might be just out of touch for me, unless SwiftCoin takes a little bit of a drop. Um, it's not that it's just out of touch. I could be in the top 100 if I wanted to be, but I've got my money tied up in other things. You know what I mean? But anyways, that was just for funsies there. I know that most of the people watching this video, you guys know me. You've seen my videos before, so we're kind of hanging out right now. But we're going to get into the analysis, okay? I know a lot of you are here for the analysis. You're not here to just hang out. But anyways, 1 hour time frame. 1 hour RSI does look a little bit bearish at the moment, but you're at an area to bounce. Maybe see some support and you continue to go lower. Typically with these downtrends, you would expect to get some kind of bullish divergence to mark the end. So with these lower highs, lower lows, I would think, up, come down, find some bullish divergence, and then it comes to an end. Maybe tomorrow or the next day you'll start to recover a little bit. But what does that mean? I mean, maybe you recover a little bit, but are you going to pump? I don't know. We're being boring, right? We're being very boring. The MACD is not going to be reliable, and the stochastics look bearish, but I wouldn't weigh too much on it because, again, when you're moving sideways, those kind of indicators are a lot. I mean, really, all indicators are a lot less reliable. The RSI is bearish, stochastics are bearish, the MACD is bearish. So again, all promoting the idea that you could go lower, and I'm really not surprised by that because you've just got this flat base here with lower highs. So you probably do go a little bit lower, but how much lower do we go? Right? Let's give some if-then statements from a low to a high. If you go below $0.0092, you'll go down to $0.0083. If you go below $0.0087, oh god, that's not going to be good, you guys. And I should say if you go below there, you can go below there. Don't close below there on a daily time frame, okay? If and when, and I think that you do have this nice W shape here. It's funny how much like Onyx coin you look, right? Perfect. You got this last little bit of consolidating to do, and then you'll be ripping up before you know it. When you get above 1.3, let's round it up, 1.37 cents on a daily closing basis, not a wicking basis like you did here, but a daily closing basis, 1.37 cents on a daily closing basis. You can say 3.69, that's fine too. 1.369 cents, $0.01369 on a daily closing basis. Then you're moving higher. And how much higher are you going to move whenever you do move higher? Because inevitably we are anticipating the SwiftCoin moves up higher. Here's another thing too, right? Let's actually pull up a different chart. It might take some time to load because my internet is being exceptionally slow today. Oh, hey, but that was pretty fast actually. I just have to talk smack about it, put it on the spotlight. Little known fact about SwiftCoin: this coin is an OG coin by all definitions of the standard, man. Since 2018, the very beginning of 2018, you went through two full bear markets. You're basically almost through your second full bull market. You're a very developed coin. You've been developing that whole time. You went through disbelief. You went through shakeouts, hype, depressions, and now finally now you're seeing new all-time highs, and you're in an uptrend. I don't think that you spent all this time doing nothing with yourself, dumping, doing nothing with yourself, to see this kind of move, and then it stops here. I thoroughly believe you've got higher prices to go. Okay, I feel like I've got more. I don't even hold SwiftCoin. I feel like I've got more conviction for this thing than even like most of the holders do. Right? You're depressed. You're discouraged. You're bored. Is really what it is, and that's the worst. That's the worst because there's all these exciting things in crypto. Whenever you get bored, that's really whenever you can make wrong decisions, man. The next area that we'd expect to go to once you get above that what was it 1.7 or 1.69 cents, I think, yeah, 1.69 cents on a daily closing basis. The next area to consider would be about 7.7 cents, which is a 7x from here. 14 and a half cents, which is a 14x from here, and I don't think you stop until you're at 23 to 29 cents per se, which is a 23 to 29x from here. Somebody was asking the other day if I only had like $10,000 or $20,000, what two cryptos would I invest in if I was like fully out of the market and I had cash, but it was like $10,000 or $20,000. Uh, SwiftCoin was in the list of that. I was on the live stream. I remember I brought up SwiftCoin. I wasn't just saying that to like blow smoke or butter the bread, right? I'm saying that because genuinely, if there's a couple of coins I have in my mind that I pay attention to that I genuinely believe have a chance to outperform Onyx Coin. And I think Onyx Coin's a breadwinner, man. Absolutely. So if you've got a chance to outperform Onyx Coin, that sticks in my head. And SwiftCoin's one of those, man. And we look at this 1886200 area, even the minimum target there is outperforming Onyx Coin's maximum target that we have, which is 36 cents. So or 32 cents, sorry. Um, these minimum targets, so it's possible that SwiftCoin stops at these. I would say a little bit more than it is for Onyx Coin. That's just my opinion. We can't really do the Bitcoin analysis on SwiftCoin like we do with Onyx Coin. It just doesn't work. I've tried. You have to make your own chart, and it doesn't log. It's just weird. I can't do it. But I guess I could do Bitcoin to Swift instead of Swift to Bitcoin. But then I'm dealing with division instead of multiplication. I hate division. Anyways, guys, I'm talking at this point. I don't really have anything else that I want to say. Weekly RSI looks phenomenal. The stochastics suck, but the MACD is right at an area that you'd expect to bounce. You have bullish divergence going on. Good things, okay? Any day now, any week now, you are going to start to recover. But first, maybe you take a little bit of a spill below 1 cent again. I doubt that you go too much below it. I doubt that you go below 0.009, but time will tell. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one, okay? Take care of yourselves.